Right, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you, Becky Downie. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us. You're obviously an international GB gymnast. Can you tell us where it all started for you, please?
Well, I started gymnastics when I was 7 years old, and I really started gym just because my school friend did it, and I kind of saw her doing all the tricks in the playground and that kind of thing, and then I joined a class with her, and then it kind of just slowly progressed, I guess.
Okay, so what age did you decide? Because I've seen around, and gymnastics, everyone's extremely young, and even when they retire, they're extremely young. So can you explain, you know, because a lot of 12, 13-year-olds, for instance, you know, when I see them into gymnastics, it's quite amazing that that's what they want to do at that such a young age.
Well, I think it's something that you do have to start very young. It's really difficult to pick up when you're older, and I think when you're older you are more experienced, so you know how dangerous it kind of can be, whereas when you're young you kind of have
fearless.
You are more fearless, and you kind of don't have your own opinions as much and kind of just do as you're told. So it's quite different, like for me now, as I'm like an older senior, looking at how I trained when I was younger and how I am like now, like I've progressed. But yeah, it's a lot of impact on your body, which it's hard to explain like how much impact, because everybody sees like soft mats and foam pits and things like that. But like when we do a tumble on the floor exercise, for example, our body weight when we hit the floor is times by 10 from the height and the speed that we come at.
Wow.
So people don't really see that element, so every time we do it and do it land slightly wrong, obviously that's where the injuries come in, like a lot of stress related injuries, so it does take its toll on the body as you get older.
But you say 21, I mean that's still, it's still extremely young. You've obviously, I'd like to think you've still got a few more years left.
Yeah, I mean I would as well, and it's definitely over the last few years I've noticed it has been a lot harder, and as much as like my mentality is I still want to do it, and I know that when my body's fit I can do it, it's just the body doesn't cope with the amount all the time, so we're having to, at the moment I'm just working on bars, and we'll slowly add in the other pieces, and we'll just have to see how it goes.
Okay, so what was the appeal of becoming an international athlete?
Well, I never really planned it. When I started training, like I wasn't never like amazing, and it took me quite a long time to kind of pick up skills. And then I became an elite really, and I moved to this gymnastics club, Nottingham Gymnastics Academy, when I was 9. And then from then on it just really progressed quite quickly, and I won my first national title when I was 12, and from there on I never really
just got the buzz for it then. And so obviously travelling around the world, and you know, I'm guessing you travel in a team environment. Is there any memorable moments, or the most funniest moment you've had while travelling abroad?
Probably my most memorable, well, my 3 most memorable places. My first was the Commonwealth Games. When I went in Melbourne, I was only 14, and which is really young, and I never.
So was you excited or nervous, or?
I was quite excited, but I was a bit nervous because I didn't know. I was with an older team, so I didn't know them very well, and I was going away for a month. I'd never been away from home for that long. But I had a really great experience, and now the age limit has changed, which is a bit of a shame. They've moved it up to 16, so you can't compete that young, and I can kind of see why, because it is a difficult environment to kind of be put in when you're so young. But I had a great time, and I did really well, and I enjoyed it. So
nice, good stuff.
That was definitely my first one. My second one was Beijing. Making an Olympic team is just something that memories that will last forever, and I'll never forget that. And just the whole Olympic village, the whole experience, like everything, just I wouldn't change it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Becky's kindly let me use one of the themes that she's hopefully going to be competing in Commonwealth Games. So can you take me through the process, and I'd actually want to have a go at, you know, what you would do.
Okay, well, to start off with, we just climb up onto it, and I suppose we just do like normal, just get used to walking and balancing, because obviously it's a lot thinner than a normal surface. And then for us, we start learning beam from a really young age, so we start off with lots of basic walking, and once we can do handsets on the floor, we kind of do a long process. We do a lot of work just on the line, on the floor, and then once you can hit it on the line every time, then go onto a low beam, then back to a line, then onto a high beam with mats, and then take mats out, and like it takes a lot of time and a lot of years to kind of master skills, which is.
I'm just doing it in like 5 minutes, so basically I'm a bit crazy.
Up and throw up. I mean, we kind of we tend to have the arms out to the side and we're walking, obviously just to have a balance. Then, I mean, a turn for us, we're always told to go on your toes. and turn. But I mean, you can kind of just shuffle around.
Yeah. I want to give it. I want to just imagine like I'm gonna put my hands up, and then obviously you have the foam bit here for the practice of the somersault. Could you show me what I'm? This is Becky's younger sister, who's the aspiring one.
Just a tough one off in a bit.
Right. And obviously wearing jeans doesn't help, does it?
No. Not so much.
Okay. Alright.
Probably to start with, just like drop off from the like a little forward roll practice, just like into it. Then push forward.
What score did you give that out to?
Perfect 10.
So I've done a bit of research and I've heard your sister is quite promising.
Yes.
Now, is there that sisterly love, or is there that sisterly, you know, competition, or does she look up to you because you've obviously achieved so much? And you know,
That's a good question. I think she looks up to me, and I mean, if there's anything that she's struggling with, I can obviously offer my advice and my experiences of what I've been through. And I mean, throughout my career, there's been a lot of highs, but there's also been a lot of lows. So it's nice to kind of pass on the advice to her, so she doesn't have as many lows, and hopefully she'll be better than me in time to come. And I mean, at the moment, she's just moved into the junior category, so she has 2 years as a junior, and then she'll be a senior. So the year before Rio will be when the competitiveness really starts, because we'll be competing against each other to get on teams, and then obviously the Olympic year. I don't think we've really thought about how it's going to be yet, but I think it'll be nice. I think we'll obviously both want each other to do well, but I think there is going to be a high level of competition, because she's obviously the youngster coming up, and I still want to keep my spot, and it will be difficult. There's obviously a lot of other gymnasts involved as well, but we'll just have to see how it goes. Yeah, I'm sure it will push. But so obviously you was first reserve for the Olympic team in London, and you know, just narrowly missing out. Obviously the Commonwealths are coming up, well, next year, but they'll come across quickly. Does that give you an extra determination to, you know, prove your spot in the team and that you should have been there? Yeah, it does. I mean, London was really difficult for me to take, and I'd had a year of injury before the year prior to London. I ruptured my Achilles, so it was always about whether I was going to kind of make it back in time or not. And it was really disappointing to be so close, and having worked for all that time. That, I mean, I always think everything happens for a reason. Yeah. As difficult as it was, it has made me a stronger person, and now I've kind of looked at the Olympics, and my personal dream was always to go to the Olympics and try and aim for an Olympic medal, whereas after watching London, I think it's kind of inspired me more that I would like a gold. Like, nobody's got it yet in gymnastics, and Lewis was so close, Beth was so close, and nobody did it. I obviously wasn't meant to be on that team for whatever reason, and I think there's plenty of time between now and Rio, if we get it right, to look at specialising on the events that I want to, and kind of just take it from there. And I'm sure you was it. And last question, obviously with the Olympics there was a lot of celebrations, you know, the Mobot, you know, Bolt doing his thing, whatever that was. Would there be any sort of Gangnam style dance, or if you got that gold? I mean, at the moment I would say probably not. Gymnastics is one of those sports where you don't tend to have too many crazy ones, and the crazy ones kind of do get noticed, which I suppose is a good thing, but it is nice obviously to have that entertainment element as well. Right, I've got a challenge for you now. We've obviously, you put me through my paces here. I'm a squash player.
I have a racket and ball. I'd like to challenge each other on this beam to try and just knock a few balls together. So obviously you've got the balance where I don't, but then obviously I've got the, like to think I've got the hand-eye coordination where you don't. Well, you might be a secret squash player, I don't know. So we'll... Ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. That was the same.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do this. I feel confident. Come on.
Oh, God.
Okay. Clearly that's not a sport that we should be taking up, but Becky, it's been very grateful to speaking to you, and all the best of luck in the future for our Commonwealth Games.
Thank you very much.